Every mark we make, every shape that catches our eye speaks a language older than words themselves. These symbols are not random. They are mirrors reflecting the deepest currents of your inner world, the parts of yourself you rarely acknowledge, the truths you carry but never speak aloud. In front of you are 4 symbols, each drawn with a single fluid motion, each holding within it an entire universe of meaning. They look simple, almost accidental, like quick strokes on blank paper. But beneath that simplicity lies something profound. These symbols reveal how you think, how you feel, how you move through life, and most importantly, what your soul is trying to tell you right now, in this exact moment. Before we begin, I need you to do something important. Don't overthink this. Don't analyze. Don't let your logical mind take control. Just look at the 4 symbols for a brief moment and notice which one pulls at you. Which one feels like it's speaking directly to something inside of you that has no name. Your intuition already knows. It always moves first, long before logic wakes up and tries to make sense of everything. And if you're finding value in this journey of self-discovery, hit that subscribe button now. This channel is dedicated to exploring the hidden dimensions of the psyche, and there's so much more waiting for you. Each symbol represents a different inner process. Some speak of softness, others of resistance. Some carry calm energy, others vibrate with intensity. Some whisper of freedom, others offer protection. Whichever symbol calls to you is not a coincidence. Something deep within you recognized itself in that shape before your conscious mind could explain why. Your soul chose before your brain could interfere. Now, let me tell you something that might surprise you about what happens when we explore these symbols together. But first, let's dive into what it means if the first symbol spoke to you. The first symbol, the flowing line with gentle dots. If the first symbol drew you in, that smooth, continuous line bending softly from side to side, decorated with tiny dots like breath turned into ink, then your inner world is currently moving through a phase of gentle motion, quiet harmony, and profound intuition. This symbol belongs to people who don't force their way through life. They flow through it. On the surface, you might appear calm, steady, perhaps even reserved to those who don't know you well. But inside exists a delicate sensitivity, an extraordinary ability to sense nuances that most people completely overlook. You notice the tiny shifts in someone's tone, the small pause before they speak, the subtle tension hanging in the air of a room. You feel the world deeply, as if every experience brushes against your skin like silk. This symbol resembles a ribbon drifting through the air, a gesture so subtle it almost disappears, yet leaves an impression that lingers. It reveals that your energy is not explosive or chaotic. It is fluid, flexible, warm. You don't smash through obstacles, you move around them with grace. You don't push people, you guide them. You don't demand attention, you influence through presence, through an elegance that requires no explanation whatsoever. You possess what I call gentle strength, the kind of strength that doesn't announce itself with noise, yet is felt immediately by everyone in your presence. There are people who conquer the world with force, with loud declarations and aggressive actions. And then, There are people like you who transform the world through stillness, through wisdom, through emotional clarity that cuts through confusion like light through darkness. Being near you feels like someone finally turned off all the extra noise in the room. People can breathe again. They can think clearly. They can feel safe enough to lower their guard. You understand life not through rigid rules or logical frameworks, but through feeling, through sensing the deeper currents beneath the surface. Your intuition is not merely a tool you use occasionally. It is your compass, your primary way of navigating reality. Often you know the answer before you even fully understand the question. You can read between the lines of what people say, sense what they're hiding, feel truth long before others catch up to it. Sometimes people tell you you're too sensitive, as if sensitivity were a weakness to overcome, but they're wrong. Sensitivity is not a flaw in your design. It is your gift, your superpower. Those who cannot feel deeply cannot live fully. They skim the surface of existence while you dive into its depths. You find beauty in the smallest details of life. The way a curtain flutters in a light breeze, the scent of warm bread filling a kitchen, the sound of rain hitting a window in the middle of the night, the expression in someone's eyes when they finally trust you enough to be vulnerable. Your emotional world has extraordinary depth. You don't just touch the surface of feelings. You plunge all the way in, exploring every layer, every shadow, every hidden corner. And yes, sometimes that depth feels heavy. Sometimes you wonder if you're too soft for a world that seems to reward hardness, too gentle for a reality that appears to favor aggression. But your softness is not weakness. It never was. It's the very reason you can heal, listen deeply, understand complexity, and love without conditions. Now, here's something crucial I need to share with you about this symbol, something that will completely shift how you see your path forward. But before we get there, make sure you're subscribed, because we're going to explore even deeper psychological territories in upcoming content. This flowing symbol appears in your life during times when existence itself is asking you to slow down, to breathe, to stop fighting currents that are already guiding you toward where you need to be. You've been carrying too much weight, shouldering burdens that were never truly yours to carry. Now your path is of softness, not struggle. You don't need to control every outcome, manage every variable, or force every door open. Life is rearranging itself quietly in your favor, even when you can't see the full picture yet. You are someone who heals others simply by existing in their presence. People trust you effortlessly, not because you demand it or manipulate them into it, but because they feel fundamentally safe beside you. They come to you with their secrets, their fears, their masks removed. You are not fire or storm. You are the quiet wave that reshapes the shore, one gentle motion at a time, transforming everything it touches without violence. The message of this symbol is both simple and powerful. You are on the right path. Do not rush. Do not force. Let the inner current guide you because it knows the way, even when your mind cannot see it yet. Your essence right now is breath, harmony, soft motion, and tenderness. And it is exactly this energy that is opening your next chapter. The second symbol, If the second symbol captured your attention, that straight vertical line with a soft loop at its center and small dots on each side, then within you lives a rare quality: calm clarity, quiet strength, and a deep sense of personal order. At first glance, this symbol might seem almost too simple, just a line, a curve, a few small accents. But this simplicity is precisely its meaning, its power. This symbol is chosen by people who value inner states over outer noise, who understand that true stability begins within, long before it manifests in the world around them. The vertical line represents your inner spine, the part of you that holds steady even when life shakes, even when circumstances become unpredictable and chaotic. You rely on your own principles, your accumulated experience, your hard-won wisdom. You don't collapse easily under pressure. You don't bend to every passing opinion or emotional wave from other people. But this doesn't mean you're cold or distant or unfeeling. It means you carry yourself with dignity. You remain yourself even in moments when others lose themselves completely. Inside, you may doubt or question or worry like anyone else. But underneath those surface movements exists a quiet certainty, an unshakable knowing. Whatever happens, you will endure. You will find a way through. You will survive, and perhaps even thrive. The loop at the center speaks of your flexibility, your ability to adapt without losing your core identity. You're not rigid. You don't bulldoze your way through life, crushing everything in your path. You adjust. You shift when circumstances require it. You listen carefully, you sense the dynamics of a situation and move with grace rather than force. You understand one essential truth that many people never grasp. Stubbornness is not strength. Real wisdom is the ability to adapt without losing your center, to bend without breaking. This is your gift, and it makes you invaluable in a world full of people who either collapse under pressure or become so rigid they shatter. The symmetry in this symbol reveals your deep need for balance. You can't thrive in chaos. You don't enjoy unpredictability or emotional storms that never seem to end. You need a sense of direction, even when the full path isn't completely clear yet. You like to understand what's happening, to feel solid ground under your feet. You create order in your relationships, in your work environment, in your own thought patterns. And people sense this balance in you immediately when they enter your orbit. Being around you brings stability, calm, a sense that things can be okay even when they seem to be falling apart. You are the kind of person who quietly holds the world together for others without ever announcing it, without seeking recognition or praise. The small dots at the sides of the line reveal something else about you: your attention to detail. You notice subtle cues that others miss entirely, hidden meanings, things people try to disguise or keep secret. It's not easy to manipulate you, because you see too much, you perceive too clearly. But you don't use this awareness to judge harshly or control others. You observe, you understand, you respond with quiet integrity. Your decisions may look gentle from the outside, but inside they come from a deeply grounded place, a foundation built over years of experience and reflection. And there's something about this symbol that reveals where you're headed next, but I'll share that in just a moment. If you're enjoying this exploration, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps more people discover this content. People who choose this symbol often become the center of gravity for others.
even when they never asked for that role. You hold steady when everything else is falling apart around you. You bring reason when others are overwhelmed by emotion. You listen without rushing to fix or correct or judge. You create a space where others can breathe again, where they can find their own clarity. But like every strength, this has a shadow side. Sometimes you are too demanding of yourself. You carry yourself like that perfectly straight vertical line, even when you're tired, hurting, or overwhelmed. You don't always allow yourself the softness you so freely give to others. You suppress emotions because you believe they get in the way of functioning properly. You maintain order, even when what you actually need is rest, release, permission to fall apart for a little while. This symbol gently reminds you that flexibility isn't only for dealing with external life, it's for dealing with yourself too. It's okay to pause. It's okay to cry. It's okay to breathe deeply and not have everything perfectly structured for a moment. Your humanity is not a flaw in your design. If this symbol was your first instinctive choice, it means you're currently in a stage of internal alignment. You may be rebuilding parts of your life right now. Boundaries, priorities, identity itself. You're learning to hear yourself more clearly, to trust your own center more deeply, to rely on your inner knowing rather than constantly seeking external validation. The message of the symbol is clear and direct. You're on the right path. Stay centered, but allow softness. Hold your line, but breathe inside it. You are balance. You are integrity. You are quiet strength. And your choice of this symbol is a direct reflection of the inner structure you're building right now. Now, if the third symbol captured your attention, that swirling dynamic shape with 4 rounded loops expanding in different directions, then your soul carries a complex, layered energy that cannot be simplified into one dimension. This symbol is never chosen by someone who lives in a straight line. It belongs to people who feel life as movement, vibration, constant flow. People who don't fear contradictions or inner tension, because they understand intuitively that growth happens exactly there, in the places where many parts of the self meet and interact. Inside you, energy moves in more than one direction at once, and this isn't chaos, despite what others might tell you. This is your natural way of expanding, of becoming, of evolving. You are not a person of one path. Your destiny is a map with many routes, many possibilities, many variations of yourself unfolding over time. Emotion, intuition, logic, impulse, all of these coexist within you, sometimes clashing, sometimes harmonizing, but always shaping you into someone uniquely alive. The 4 loops in the symbol mirror the 4 forces inside you: your sensitivity, your intellect, your creativity, your capacity for action. You don't choose just one. You are all of them simultaneously, a living integration of seemingly opposite qualities. People who feel drawn to this symbol often sense that they are too much or too many things at once. Your inner world feels bigger than a single direction, deeper than a single identity, wider than a single role that society tries to assign you. You can love intensely, think widely, dream boldly, and act powerfully, sometimes within the same hour. In you, freedom and focus coexist. Emotion and logic dance together. The intuitive and the analytical merge into a single living rhythm. And no, this combination is not always peaceful, but it is real, vibrant, electrifying. You cannot tolerate stagnation,
dullness, or predictability. Your spirit needs motion, challenge, self-expression. You grow through exploration, through pushing boundaries, through testing limits. You breathe through change. The swirling symbol reveals something profound about you. You are a person of perpetual evolution. You don't simply live, you transform constantly. Even when you appear calm to others, inside, hundreds of thoughts, emotions, and insights are weaving themselves into new understanding. You're always processing, connecting, learning. You learn from people, from mistakes, from emotions, from silence, from pain, from joy, from every single chapter of life. Nothing is wasted on you. You feel deeply and honestly. You don't hide from powerful emotions or try to numb yourself against intensity. You enter them fully because you intuitively know that healing and transformation happen inside the intensity, not by avoiding it. Your emotions don't break you. They shape you, forge you, make you stronger and wiser. Now, there's something critical about this symbol that explains why you've been feeling pulled in multiple directions lately. Stay with me, because this next part will clarify everything.
But this richness has a shadow. There are moments when you feel pulled in different directions simultaneously, unsure which path to take because you can see several possibilities at once, all of them valid, all of them calling to you. There are times when your inner world becomes almost too full, too many desires, too many thoughts, too many impulses competing for your attention. But this is not a flaw. This is your nature. You are not built for a single narrow path. You are built for a web of possibilities, for multiple expressions of your potential. Your strength is your ability to be flexible, open, dynamic. You evolve through motion, not through stillness. You discover yourself through experience, not through waiting for permission or perfect clarity. This symbol also points to a powerful intuition, the kind that doesn't need evidence to recognize truth. Where others see confusion, you see connections. Where others hesitate endlessly, you sense direction. You understand life as a system, a pattern, an interconnected flow. You can see order inside chaos, meaning inside randomness. If this symbol spoke to you first, it means your soul is entering a period of unfolding. Your complexity is no longer a burden to manage or hide. It is becoming your advantage, your unique gift to the world. You are ready to express yourself more fully, more courageously, more authentically. Ready to stop shrinking in order to fit into small spaces that were never designed for someone like you. Your path isn't straight, it's expansive. Not predictable, but vibrant. Not simple, but breathtaking. You don't need to become simpler. You need to become more fully yourself. You are movement. You are transformation. You are living energy capable of changing everything you touch. 2. The delicate spiral. If the fourth symbol called to you, that thin, graceful line crowned with a small spiral and surrounded by tiny scattered dots, then within you lives a rare blend of softness, depth, and quiet strength. Your energy doesn't shout. It doesn't demand space or attention. It doesn't compete or push. It unfolds gradually, gently, almost like the slow rise of morning light that transforms darkness without violence. This symbol reflects people who move through the world with delicacy, not weakness. People who sense the energy of a room before entering it. People who listen not only with their ears, but with their whole presence, their whole being attuned to subtle frequencies others cannot detect. The thin line shows how important it is for you to exist without overwhelming others, without invading their boundaries or taking up too much space. You're one of the few who can be present without pressing on people, who can remain true without being loud or aggressive. Your strength is not external, it is inner. It shows itself in small gestures, in stillness, in the warm calm that spreads around you when you simply exist in a space. People feel safer around you without fully understanding why. Just your presence softens the atmosphere, lowers the temperature of conflict, creates room for vulnerability. The spiral at the top reveals your gift for inner growth that happens in layers, in cycles. You don't heal in sudden, dramatic leaps. You evolve in circles, each round bringing you deeper understanding, more clarity, more wisdom. You never throw away difficult experiences. You absorb them, transform them, integrate them, and weave them into who you are becoming. You are one of the rare souls who truly changes from the inside out, who does the deep work that most people avoid their entire lives. The tiny dots around the symbol represent the fragments of life you've gathered over time, the details, the unspoken feelings, the subtle movements. Your perception is incredibly fine, almost impossibly sensitive. You sense what others miss entirely, the emotional shifts, the hidden discomfort, the delicate movements of someone's heart. Your intuition is not an occasional flash of insight. It is your natural mode of existence, your default way of perceiving reality. But with this sensitivity comes vulnerability. You absorb the emotional climate around you like a sponge absorbs water. You carry the worries of others, feel their heaviness, hold their unspoken fears. This can leave you exhausted in ways you can't always explain to people who don't share this quality.
This symbol whispers a gentle reminder directly to you. Your sensitivity is a gift, but it must be protected. You are not built for harsh environments, for constant noise, for emotional chaos. You need spaces that nourish you, people who respect your inner quiet, moments of silence that restore your energy rather than drain it. The thinness of the line speaks to your nature. You live not in loud victories, but in meaning. You don't care about drama, competition, or noise. You care about sincerity, genuine connection, the quiet truth beneath the surface of things. In relationships, you don't want storms, you want warmth. You don't want games, you want honesty. You don't want chaos, you want presence. Others might try to dominate or impress. You try to understand. Others chase attention. You chase authenticity. This makes you rare and deeply valuable in a world that often rewards the opposite qualities. But don't mistake your gentleness for fragility. You bend, but you do not break. Like a thin branch in the wind, you move, adjust, survive what would destroy more rigid structures. Your resilience is quiet, invisible to those who don't know what to look for, but incredibly strong. If this symbol was your instinctive choice, life is telling you something right now. Listen to yourself. Follow your small desires, your subtle impulses, your quiet truth. Don't run after loud goals that don't feel authentically yours. Don't harden yourself to fit someone else's expectations of who you should be. You influence the world not through force, but through presence, through warmth, through the kind of soft power that reaches deeper than anything loud ever could. This symbol reminds you that you don't need to be louder to be powerful. You don't need to be harsher to be understood. Your gentleness is your influence, and your light does not blind, it warms. And right now, that is exactly the kind of light your soul needs to remember it carries. Each of the 4 symbols is more than a simple mark on paper. They are like fingerprints of the soul, impressions of how your inner world is moving, flowing, expanding, or softening at this exact point in your life journey. Some are drawn to smooth flowing lines because their spirit seeks harmony above all else. Some choose strong verticals because they are rebuilding their inner foundation after it was shaken. Some find themselves pulled towards swirling shapes because their energy is awakening, branching out, expanding into new territories. And some follow the delicate spiral because they crave gentleness, softness, and authentic connection in a world that often feels too harsh. Your choice might have seemed random in the moment, but it wasn't. Intuition doesn't choose randomly. It speaks in images, in symbols, in feelings that bypass logic entirely. It works faster than conscious thought, deeper than rational analysis, more honestly than words could ever express. It recognizes what has already grown inside you and simply mirrors it back so you can see it clearly. And here's what most people miss about these symbols. They're not predictions of who you must become. They are reflections of who you are becoming right now, where your energy is moving, what your inner world wants you to notice and honor. Sometimes the symbol reveals a part of you you've been ignoring, your need for rest, your desire for structure, your craving for freedom, your hunger for tenderness, your longing for emotional depth, your readiness to expand, your quiet wish for peace. At other times, it confirms something you already sensed but didn't dare say aloud, didn't dare claim as your truth. And remember this crucial point. You don't belong to only one symbol forever. You are wide, complex, constantly changing. Today, you may be the flowing line. Tomorrow, the vertical. In a month, the whirl. Later, the delicate spiral. You are a living, evolving being. And your inner landscape shifts like the seasons, responding to life's changes, to your own growth, to the challenges you face and overcome. Now here's what I want you to do next. The beauty of this exploration is not in labeling you or putting you in a box. It is in helping you hear yourself more clearly. A single image can reveal a direction, a feeling, a truth you've been carrying quietly, without words to express it. Your choice is a message from your intuition, a gentle invitation to understand what part of you is waking up right now, what aspect of your being is calling for attention, for expression, for honoring. Listen to it, honor it, follow it, even if you just take one small step in the direction it's pointing. That's enough. That's how transformation begins,
not with dramatic leaps, but with small steps guided by inner knowing. Before you go, I want to ask you something important. Share in the comments which symbol chose you. Not just for me, but for yourself. There's power in claiming your truth publicly, even in a small way like this. And sometimes seeing the choices of others, reading their experiences, is just as meaningful as hearing your own inner voice. If this journey into the hidden dimensions of your psyche resonated with you, subscribe now. We explore these territories regularly, diving deep into the unconscious patterns that shape our lives, the symbols that speak to our souls, the hidden truths that wait to be discovered. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next exploration. And if you found value here, share this with someone who might need to hear their own inner truth reflected back to them. Your symbol has spoken. Now it's time to listen.